Dream has been accused of grooming, but is that accurate? Let's find out. Now, before I cover Dream, I think it's important I lay out my bias here. I personally hate Dream. I would classify myself as praying for his downfall. I believe he's a naughty man. I feel it in my gut. That's not an opinion, though. That's a feeling. It's barely an opinion. But, you know, that dog's day is not today. I cannot in good conscience tell you this story and say that he is what the allegations claim he is, at least as of this date. But also, let me tread carefully with what I cover because the word legal action has been thrown around. Now, I do believe in my heart, my opinion is that Dream is spoiled, privileged, and is spoiled and privileged enough to abuse his power. So, just FYI, Dream, I have very little left to take, so if you sue me, it's going to look very bad for you. Please don't do it. I don't think I can handle it. It might be the final nail in my coffin. However, for some people, Dream is a god to be worshipped for the very ground he walks on, and some feel that he is vilified, a supervillain by any other name. But what are these allegations, and how did we get here? Really, to understand this, you gotta understand the environment that's going on when this is happening. It's a combo drama whammy type of story. You see, the face reveal has just happened. Dream has revealed who he is. Dream is ultra famous, and he went to TwitchCon on top of that. And man, did people have a lot to say about both TwitchCon and Dream's face. They made jokes and compared him to big-chinned cartoon characters. Most of it was in good meme fun, but remember, this is the guy who made normal pills and then chastised people for enjoying rap music, so, you know, Dream fed the trolls, and thus this joke turned into a vehicle to mock Dream yet again in another farcical event on social media. But we gotta understand here that the man behind the mask, Clay, has been revealed. The mask has come off, and the tone has changed. The mood is different. I mean, anybody can really feel it. I've covered Dream long enough to know that things are different now that he's shown his face. You know, it's kind of hard to just say whatever you want about a guy when he's a mask, a icon. Now he's a real person. There's something there, and the mood's just different. And, you know, I'd like to say that things quieted down, but right after that was TwitchCon, which I cover in another story. But yeah, there was plenty of unkempt, weird tweens there all lining up to see the Minecraft kids. And man, oh man, do you guys want to know the dirty little secrets I've heard about some of those Minecraft guys. But listen, I'm a classy man. I only throw punches in the ring. That's if anybody wants to get in the ring. But hey, outside of that, Dream hasn't really been in the news cycle, and this is really it. If anybody was going to make a threat about anything, it was going to be now when Dream is in the news for Twitch and for his face reveal. Now, a lot of the stuff coming out about Dream has been preemptively taken down. Why that is remains to be seen. Maybe it is that nebulous legal action word thrown around. However, I don't know why these people are taking these things down. A quick note about stuff being removed from the internet, TikTok, and all that. Whether stuff is public or private, these things, this taking stuff up, taking stuff down, it's not an admission of fakery or guilt. It doesn't prove or disprove anything. These things happen. And, you know, this is really the definition of correlation does not equal causation. All social media sites have very nebulous, weird to define TOSs that can be taken advantage of in any which way. We really can't assume that this stuff was taken down at the behest of Dream or the behest of his fans. We simply don't know. These things might not be related. But let's get into it. In 2020, Dream would have been about 20, and allegedly he was talking with a poster named Anastasia, whom allegedly would have been 17. In the messages released by this person, allegedly they were chatting with Clay. When Clay asked if they're still in school, Anastasia replied to this. Now, the evidence of these being real conversations is that Dream has blocked this person, showing that the chat logs on Twitter are real, or at least that's how they appear right now based on the thread that Anastasia shared. Really, there's not much here. Admittedly, some of these DMs are very cringy. There's some wonderful discussions about slurping up the Rona in that period of the pandemic when everybody was thirsting and getting into very, very ill thought out relationships. Now, overall, the allegation with this individual is that this was grooming, right? Which is really a matter of semantics for quite a lot of people in this conversation. As many of you may know, depending on the state that you live in, the age of consent could vary by state. Grooming is another term entirely that, you know, definitely needs clarification in this case, as many people have different opinions over what grooming technically is. So, grooming is as follows, quote, child grooming refers to the act of deliberately establishing an emotional connection with a child to prepare the child for child abuse. child abuse is being a very vague term for a number of different things, but we all know where child grooming is supposed to lead if the groomer has their way. Now, some stans or former stans turned haters or just haters say that this is grooming regardless of age, and that is an argument put forth on twitter.com, meaning that adults can be groomed as well, and that the purpose is basically to establish an emotional connection with the end goal of abusing that connection. And there's also the discussion of the elusive and nebulous power dynamic that enters the discussion. How much all of this matters to you is a personal opinion. For example, musicians for years have used their platform to sleep with fans. Rock music has been ingrained with this legacy of its golden age, including that roadie type hookup type of culture. For YouTubers, it's been a bit different, right? Call Me Carson, age 19 going on 20, was talking with a 17-year-old fan, just like the accusation that has led Dream to this entire moment. And this moment in time led to Carson's cancellation. Later, this would be walked back after he took a break and people spoke out about this. Carson, in those conversations, if I recall, explicitly mentioned that he used his position as a celebrity to get that adoration from the fan. Really, for most people, this age gap being so narrow is the main argument against why this would be grooming. They could have easily both been in high school, these people say. Is it weird? Yes. But would you call him a pedo? Well, that would be a stretch. I mean, for example, a personal villain of the channel is Social Repose, who constantly got heat for picking up fans, and well, that basically all culminated when you watch my video. But he also allegedly was very erratic and abused his position in ways beyond what happened to Carson and beyond what is being alleged towards Clay. The reason I bring all this up is because that whole power dynamic discussion, it's very variable. Really, it's a call it when I see a type of thing. I hold a personal belief not to pick up stans or fans. From what I've seen, other content creators I know or knew, it tends to be more trouble than you'd ever want in your own personal love life. Another addition to that is that many times these younger fans, even if they are legal age, don't understand boundaries. Hell, I've had people who are straight up adults who don't understand personal boundaries, even as my audience has gotten older. For example, I've gotten ridiculous messages from women 15 years my senior, so we're talking 35s to 40s, and messaging me, telling me basically really ridiculous things. You know, there's no reason to be doing that. That's a total overreach and is incredibly inappropriate, and I really wish you wouldn't do that. But the point is that, well, you know, the whole power dynamic thing, it depends. Anyway, I don't have a good enough segue for this, but drama content like pays garbage on YouTube. You constantly get lowballed in ads for that. Which is why I'm proud to introduce a new project that I'm working on called Mana Potion Tabletop. This is going to be a huge project that I'm working on where we'll make hobbying, miniature painting, and tabletop wargaming type content. We'll cover everything from D&D and how to get better at it, to how to paint miniatures and different other things like that. Basically, it's like Linus Tech Tips, except I don't know what I'm doing, and also it's about little plastic men and dice. It's a fun channel. The first video's up right now. You can click the link down below to go check it out. Please head over and then tell me how you enjoyed that video. Really, Anastasia's accusation, this allegation is so flimsy. There's nothing here, and I feel like I'm missing a large chunk of the information I'd need in order to make any kind of opinion from it. I've been calling it a nothing burger. Many commentary channels had said the same, and I'd have to agree with them. The reality is you need receipts. And, you know, it's another thing is that people are clearly gunning for Clay's head. They want ammo. They want something to happen to him bad, but many of them just don't have it. And I don't know if I can trust what this random person on the internet is saying. There's a good chance that there could be some other thing I'm missing. But let's move on to Amanda.
Hi, I am not happy to be making this video, but I'm Amanda, and you might know me as one of the girls that was groomed by Dream.
Amanda made an allegation that in broad strokes, Dream was 21 going on 22. Amanda would have been 17 going on 18 at the time. Similar stuff happens as with Anastasia. Friendly convo allegedly turned to flirting, where Amanda claims Dream showed her his penis. Allegedly, according to Amanda, the Minecraft YouTuber has a chest filled with sex toys. I know the comedy there about the Minecraft guy having a chest of sex toys. Very funny, let's all laugh at it and then move on. You know, as long as it's like being used with legal adults, the idea of like that is just this kind of a power move, really? It's like I'm really playing into the fact that I am Dream, even in bed. I'm sorry, like, this stuff is dark. We need a little laugh every now and again, right? He allegedly released himself to a picture of Amanda. You can figure out what that means. The timeline for all of this is iffy, though, because Amanda hasn't released these logs.
So from the 17th to maybe February 10th is the time frame where we were sexting. He sent me a picture of his penis.
But we'll get there soon about that. I mean, people have been reaching out to Amanda, including myself. Apparently Amanda reciprocated these gestures of gratification. And there was also a time when she stopped speaking to Dream because she ended up in a relationship herself. So Amanda puts up this powerful front, is very serious and clear about what happened. But for me, I do feel a little weird about this allegation. Listen, guys, you gotta understand, this isn't my first rodeo. I try to make sure that those who are harmed are heard. I've gone to great length to ensure that. I obviously don't have concrete proof that Amanda could be lying. It's just a hunch, but something feels off. Now, I should say I reached out to Amanda publicly and privately because, despite not having a check mark on Twitter, I think I'm pretty good at this sort of thing. Offer still stands if you see this, Amanda. There's a lot that needs to be said, and hopefully you'll speak with me about this. No pressure, though. Anyway, in the meantime, it looks like Amanda's gone to the police. Amanda is from New Jersey, and that plaque in the window there is of Jersey. In the meantime, I feel like this chicken's being gussied up to be a golden goose, right? So really, a lot of that is kind of based on what Dream said, but also that I'm lacking a lot of information that would lead me to think otherwise. In particular, people have reached out to Amanda about, getting the logs from Snapchat, which is a possible and doable thing. But Amanda hasn't done it despite many people asking for her to do it. But Clay was very clear in his tweet longer that these women were all legal that he was talking to, right? He apparently asked their age to make sure, and referring to the first accuser, Clay says the following, quote, "Part of this thread includes cringy flirt text messages, parentheses, again, when they were 18. That were supposedly from me. Because it says that it is from their contacts when they go to my TikTok, this is impossible. Since I use a Google Voice number on my TikTok account, which doesn't have the ability to iMessage. The other information is false. And this has unfortunately blown up into something that simply isn't. Regardless, she was 18 years old and had 18 publicly available on her Twitter bio," end quote. So yeah, if you look at this thread that Anastasia put out, the number is using iMessage. You can tell because the bubbles are blue and not green. I mean, voice numbers can still work as just a regular number. You can send text with them. It works like an Android phone. You could text, you could call, you could do all of that. I have a voice number on this phone, for example. Dream doesn't really address or refute how this person is able to do this and how it says that Dream is from their contacts and it's linked to his TikTok. So it's technically possible to have a voice number in your contacts and the bubbles wouldn't be blue, but you could technically text them. Basically, the entire tweet longer says the messages that are on social channels are real, but the iMessage ones are fake. Or at least that's how it reads reading Dream's tweet longer. In reference to Amanda, Dream also claims that she was legal and that all conversations were appropriate. Dream caps it off with the following interesting paragraph, quote, "Having such a deep obsession towards someone to look deeply into their family, friends, and personal life, or making up relationships or friendships in your head is one of the biggest reasons parasocial relationships can become so dangerous. It also one of the reasons why creators need to be as responsible as they can and be careful when they interact with anybody," end quote. Now, you might have wondered why I included that, and listen, man, I'm trying not to dig into Dream here. I think from what we've seen is that he kind of almost appears absolved of his sins. This is a very big tonal shift, though, how Dream talks about these things, and he used to really rile up his fans to his side, but I think now that the mask is off, there's a different weight to everything now. I mean, at the end of the day, Dream doesn't really have to prove his innocence. He doesn't have to, hold the preponderance of evidence. That kind of lies with the accusers unless law enforcement get involved. Dream also has a track record of lying, I should say, or let me be specific. Dream, in my opinion, seems to fudge the truth. So, I think we need a Harvard stats expert to come around and settle this probability of whether or not Dream has been grooming anybody. No, but seriously, Dream hasn't done much to get the side of people who wouldn't like Dream, so it's hard to trust what he has to say. Quote, "This has all become so much more real and scary now that my face is out there for people to see, and I needed to address all of this. I will also, based on your advice, pursue legal action towards people using my name to spread disinformation, or those that are misrepresenting facts, lying, faking things, or falsely abusing my name and image," end quote. Listen, I think at the end of this story, as funny as it is that the Minecraft sex mod man with the big chin is having a bad day, I personally don't have it in my heart to say that this man is definitively a groomer. I just don't see it. It doesn't look like that as far as the facts stand right now. And since I brought that up, Clay and the whole John Swan thing, because this dumbass keeps getting dragged into shit despite not being on the internet. John ruined his career by trying to take down Dream. Pretty much, John lied to everybody in the commentary community, and as a result, everybody looked like they had their pants down. I also ended up reporting on it incorrectly, and now I have rules in place to check myself on those things. Obviously, I apologize for that and how I reported on that. It is my job to do a good job of those things, and John gilded the lily. He was an asshole, but that doesn't absolve me from reporting on the facts wrong simply because I don't like the guy. So with something like that, I find myself asking, is Amanda motivated by something else? Is something being left out of this conversation deliberately? Could there be lying for revenge? The motive of being a fan wanted so much more from them. When Clay didn't give it, they spun a tale about how he's something else. Like I said, I've seen fans do worse in private to ruin a YouTuber they obsess over. It's completely in the realm of possibility, as awful as it sounds. Could Clay be mobilizing his fandom with that twit longer to refute and discredit legitimate accusations? Also completely possible. The age gap is low, but if he's buttering up women for clout and love now, what else is happening behind the scenes? And maybe I shouldn't say love, but more like adoration for the gratification. Overall, these are horrible questions to ask, but I need to be asking these questions, especially when Dream's content of character I feel is lacking. I think these are good changes. To quell the fandom is good. I'm glad Clay is doing that. But I should also say that's like putting Pandora back in the box. You just can't do it. And, the yaoi that's been on the internet is there forever. But hey, man, I really don't have enough time to sit down and really look into these as deeply as I'd want, because today Amaranth ended up in the news, as well as I still haven't covered Mizkif of the time of recording. I'm quite busy. Anyway, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so that way you can understand what the hell is going on.